Today we're going to make a video about this van. We're going to go take it for a drive to go grab some breakfast, but then also give you full-length video on it. See what you guys think. But starts up nicely. Couple cool things about this that I'll go more in depth when I'm actually making the video is clutch has been recently redone. Before it came from Japan, it has a brand new clutch on it. So yeah, it is a 5-speed push button 4-wheel drive with high and low selector, which is really nice. Most important part is it does have AC. We're hopping on the highway here to do a speed run. We're on 3rd gear right now, climbing up 60 kilometers. Let's see, 70 kilometers. It's kind of a windier day today. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is essentially a loaf of bread on the road with 4 wheels. What I can equate these to. The Daihatsus are known to be a little bit more zippier, and this does happen to be the 12-valve twin-cam engine, which is pretty nice, in my opinion. I've had a couple of these, and they're pretty zippy. I've had a turbo model, which is extremely zippy, which is really nice. But right now, we're cruising around 98 kilometers and climbing slowly. Here we go to 100. This is where we're doing our speed run in Mexico here. We catch a little bit of a downhill. We're still on 4th. A downside to this, but it's not a major downside, is it didn't come with a tachometer for some reason. So it doesn't have a tach, but let's see. That's 5th gear. And we're climbing up to 110 kilometers, which, in my opinion, for a K van, that's not bad at all. I mean, I have people pass me. He's probably going 80, and I'm going 110 over here. So that's pretty good, in my opinion. You don't need much more. Obviously, when we start to climb these hills here in Tijuana, it starts to, go down a little bit on the kilometers. So, but overall, I think it's a great van for what you get with a van versus a K truck. I'm still a firm believer that a K van is probably better than a K truck. And the crazy thing is you're always going to get questions and looks because they look so funky. And I'll show you the outside of it, just a few. But I think your normal cruising speed, if you're on a little bit of an uphill, you're looking between 100 to 110. We're just like dropping down back to 100 right now. And I will say this is pedal to the metal, and I don't think it's pushing this van. I think this van has more in its limits, but here we go. We're doing 110 in just a second. We hit 110 right now. I think a comfortable speed for this K van in particular, you're going to be between 100 and 120 depending on where you're going. Also, if you don't have a really windy day today, like today's a little bit windier and a little bit colder, so the drag and resistance on this is a lot more than you think. For back roads, backcountry travel, I guess you could say. Let's see, right now we're going 42 miles per hour, but 43, we're hiking up there. For backcountry travel, I think these are great. Even a highway, to be honest with you. If somebody said, hey, I want this van, but I want you to drive it to California, I would get in this van and drive it to California. Well, that's just me because I'm crazy. I mean, I'm willing to drive certain vehicles, like I did a K truck from South Carolina to Connecticut, and then I did a cappuccino from like Alabama to Fort Lauderdale, which isn't that long, but in a cappuccino when you're 6 feet tall, that's long. And that wasn't too long ago. I've done from Connecticut to Massachusetts several times with like Acti, so I would do it. But I know some people are kind of scared to get on the highway with these for, numerous different reasons, which I respect. Ultimately, there is no crash, anything in the front, but they're still, for the most part, they're pretty safe, I guess it's all dependent on how you drive, if that makes any sense. But this will kind of be the driving aspect of this video, just to kind of get you an idea. I think that a van like this, I've sold 2 of these vans to the commercial aspect where somebody's using it for promotion of their business. I think that that's what these vans are really good for. I think they can also be converted to be something more like camping. So if you have yourself, a significant other, or a dog and a significant other, this will be great because these seats fold down, and I'll show you that in just a few. For now, we're going to go grab some donuts and then show you around the outside. All right, so what better place to show it than I think outdoors, you know? I think it adds such a cool factor to it. Anyways, I try and find different backdrops to shoot my videos. Happens to be a little bit earlier in the morning, so there's this nice park here in Wilton, so I just came here to film it. But let's kind of show you the outside, kind of give you a walk around so you kind of get an idea of what this thing looks like. I think it's a cool van. This happens to be the RT limited model. So what that means is I think it came with a different front end at one point in Japan, but it just means RT, like I said, it is a twin cam 12 valve 4-wheel drive. You have 200 kilos of, you know, space that you can do things with. We'll just kind of keep giving you a walk around. You can see up top there is some sun fade / rust. By no means is this a perfect van as far as paint job goes. I think that it is a perfect van for somebody that wants to get into it and do something with it. It does have just snow tires, which in my opinion should definitely be changed out. It's got Steelies. I guess the fortunate part, you can see there's a little bit of damage there, is these Daihatsus are 4x110 are the bolt patterns. It's a little bit harder to find wheels, but they are attainable and they can be found depending on where you are. You just have to get the correct person that's selling. So I was talking about the wheels, and then all of a sudden it shuts off, and I'm like, why did it shut off? Well, see, when I left my house today, I had a funny feeling that I should probably fuel it up, and I didn't fuel it up. So guess what happens? Of course, when I get on this trail to take photos of this thing and to make a video of this, I run out of gas. So I had to call Megan up real quick and say, hey, I need you to come rescue me. So hopefully I'll have gas in just a few, but for now I'll keep talking about it because the dang thing is too heavy for me to push in these rocks, and I got racing slicks, and so I got no traction. I got it pretty much up to here, but of course this little hump just wasn't enough for me to be able to push it. I'm on a slight downhill. Anyway, back to the van. If you ever want me to sell something for you, or if you ever want me to list something, I like to be as honest as possible and show all the true imperfections so that when people see this, they know and understand, okay, cool, this is what I'm getting into. I don't show it because I want to throw shade at whoever owns the van or, you know, whoever sold the van. None of that. I just show it purely for the purposes of, if you're going to buy this, it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. But you're going to have to, either way, you're going to have to see it. And so if you come see it in person and you're not happy with what you see, then people are like, oh, why didn't you tell me this? So everything is on here for that reason. I don't do this because, you know, X, Y, and Z. And most people are like, oh, that hurts your sales and all that. It doesn't hurt my sale. What it does is it stops the time waste that people would come from, like, let's just give it random, from Vermont or Maine or California or something like that. And it takes away the unknown factor of, like, what am I looking at, right? And it's like, well, what you're looking at is a van, and here's the flaws, imperfections, or all the things that are good on it. So that's why I do it. Again, I don't do it to throw shade or to do anything like that. So I'm going to show you everything. Like I said, by all means, this van is not perfect, but it's perfect for the right person and if it fits their budget. The van is going to be listed for $6,500 on Facebook Marketplace. Well, that's kind of where the price will be. I tell everybody it is our best offer, but I never put that because that's usually where the low ballers and the scammers come out, and then they just waste your time. So I am a negotiable person to some extent. This is not my vehicle. This is, I guess you could say, consignment, but I was asked to help them sell it, and so I have it in my possession. I'm making the video, I'm showing you everything, and hopefully you'll get it sold. So let's just start. I guess we'll start with the passenger side. I mean, by all means, the paint is, clear coat is okay. I feel like all these Japanese vehicles, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, not really, but they all kind of start to crack. The bumper has a slight bit of damage here on the front. You can tell somebody touched it up, but they didn't do so well when touching it up. I'll push that clip back in there for you. Overall, you know, it does have a lot of scuffs up top. These are things that when they sit in Japan in the sun, it gets beat up, and maybe if somebody was throwing something up here, I don't know what it could have been, but, you know, stuff like that happens. You can have a spider if it still comes with it. It's got rain guards, which are nice. The nice big ones that sit there. It does not have rear ones, at least not on this side. I've had them where they have had them, and they're usually broken because, again, the sun, they sit there and whatnot. Let's stick to the outside. Up top, clear coat is peeling. Things like this, I mean, could this use a full respray? Yes, if it fits the budget. If it doesn't, then you could wrap it. If I have a photo of one of the ones that was sold in the past by another importer and show you what the guy did with exact model, he wrapped it into like almost like a panel van, which is pretty cool. So you see that the stickers themselves are kind of getting old and brittle, so they're starting to crack. I didn't have the detailers pull them off because I just didn't want them to peel clear coat if that was going to be the case. And also, it is cool despite the fact that they're still kind of beat up. Again, if we keep going towards the back, just a little bit of surface rust here and there, clear coat peeling on the roof, so you can kind of get an idea. It's funny, it almost looks like it has mold, but no, it's just a clear coat peeling. And if we keep going around the back, windows are all in pretty good shape. The moldings around them are also in pretty good shape, which is important. Sometimes you often see them that they're not. This area over here, it looks like it was vinyl, so it's kind of starting to peel up a little bit. And these are usually pretty notorious to like crack and bend and all that. This one's in pretty good shape. This one's in pretty good shape, other than it's starting to peel a little bit. And then I guess the molding never really made it down that far. Now if we go to the rear end, tailgate again has a little bit of surface rust. It has these holes, which I look to see if that's something to worry about, like when it rains, and it is not, because it's in the rain channel. So it's before the rain channel, so all the water will go down and drip all around the side. So it might have had a wing at one point in its life. It no longer does. The bumper scuffed up in normal places when people lift things in and out like luggage and so on and so forth. The one thing that you'll see on the tailgate here is that there is a little bit of just damage. Maybe somebody opened it or backed it into something and, you know, damaged that. There's a little bit of surface rust here. Same thing around the wiper arm and all that. I thought I had replaced these rear wipers. No, I hadn't, but it's still in good shape. Often when they sit, they do that. They just bend forward. You can tell. I don't know, the camera. Yeah, the camera can pick it up. But over time, when the rain and all that, it starts to kind of like go down and make this drip looking thing. And I think that might have been gone when I had it freshly detailed, but it had been sitting outside, and so kind of picked that up. If we keep going around the back or to the right side, the driver's side, again up top, I really don't know. I kind of would love to know what the heck caused these like imperfection and scratches, but I think what it is the sun starts to crack the clear coat, and then once it clears, the clear coat starts cracking, it forms all these little lines, and as it peels away, you're kind of left with this patina kind of look, which I think is kind of interesting. Hey, listen, the other thing is, if you get this van and you want to be something different, there are patina paint jobs that you can do that'll make it look good. There is no rust holes that are going through the paint, which is the most important part in my opinion. So that's something you don't have to worry about, you know. These do come with roof racks. I have seen them with roof racks. If we open up this door, you still have some sort of lip here that allows you to be able to attach a roof rack to it. And then I have seen it where people, yeah, see, these are like bolt holes that you can bolt a roof rack all the way up top to there. Let's see, driver's side, same thing. I feel like wherever it's at where the sun always got it. So we have a little bit of that on the front driver's door. And then obviously the areas where you come in and out with your leg, your pant leg, you catch that, and a little bit of surface rust starts to appear there. But overall, not bad. I mean, for what it is, it's not bad at all. It looked like it might have had California mirrors as well, but it no longer does, which is not bad. People think, oh, why is it missing a 6? Honestly, it doesn't matter. Each car tells a story. Maybe all these things were removed so that it could make a different car, and then this is how they made it look to make it presentable in Japan. Whatever it might have been, it doesn't really affect anything other than the car has a bumper, has lights, has mirrors, and it still functions the way that it should. You could tell it had the twin cam 12 valve sticker, but over time it probably peeled away. It just kept the original insignia there. I wonder what that is. Oh, it's just kind of like dirty. But yeah, windshield's pretty good shape. Molding around the windshield is also good, which is great. You don't have to really worry about that. And again, you can kind of see the clear coat peeling up here. Antenna works and functions as it should. One thing I forgot to show was this. Actually, I tried turning it on and turned on. It must have been that the downhill was not feeding the fuel pump where it needed to. So once I moved it flat, it turned back on. But I just moved it out here, so I wasn't in the trail. Megan is not going to come now, which is a good thing. But anyways, yeah, so just showing you around it. I mean, you could see that the grill, I don't know if that's just buff marks. Nope, just imperfections in general. You can kind of see the clear coat kind of peeling and doing its thing. Yeah. Some of these things, it's like inevitable. I mean, it's a 25-year-old vehicle, so let's be realistic here. It's not going to be perfect. If you get it painted, if you get it serviced and all that, that's a different story. Which brings me to the next point. This has been serviced. Had timing belt, water pump, and then it also had the, what's it called, done.
the clutch done, but let's confirm to see if the timing belt was actually done, because sometimes I say that and it wasn't. But and you can see under here it's been cleaned. Here's the VIN, so you guys get an idea. There's the VIN again, but under here looks pretty good, looks clean. The last one I had, this part broke off, and so the vacuum, it had a little bit of slight vacuum leak, which is kind of frustrating. But let's show you the engine on the other side. And look, the timing belt was changed. Can't tell if that's, looks like 2025 the timing belt was changed. So it was changed this year, which was good. So it does have a new timing belt, water pump. I know the clutch was replaced on this. That was one of the things that was done. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, it looks to be pretty good, and it runs great, which is awesome. You saw it driving earlier, which is the great part. I guess I can show you the inside with the pros and cons in it. Let's start off with the pros, which I think are great pros. Interior wise, everybody tells me, wow, this interior is super clean for being over 25 years old. And I agree, it is pretty clean. I love it. Normally these have tears on the seats and all that. This one does not. The seats cleaned up really well. The dash overall is in pretty great shape. It looks like it had probably a button here at one point and it got removed, so there's no button there anymore. Biggest thing is it has these headrests. Sometimes they come with them and sometimes they don't, or sometimes you just get the two and you don't get the rear, which is kind of interesting. And then they do tend to split up top. So this one has all four headrests that are not splitting, which is a major plus. You have two out of the four carpets that you need that are original, with this kind of funky pattern, which is really nice. The driver's area most of the time, as you can tell, they get damaged over time. That's just kind of the name of the game. It does have speakers up front, which is really nice. So over here and over there. It did come with power, windows, which is a nice thing. The only thing is when they added it, they didn't add it to the rear. This model in particular, when they made them, they did offer this so that all four had power windows. But this, you can tell it's an aftermarket option. And the way you can tell, is by the way that it is. But just kidding. Is that little button on the side of the button. That's where the normal window crank would be. You don't see it on this side because this whole box assembly covers it. But that's normally where the window cranks would be. And then obviously because you have window cranks back here. But the nice part about this is one of those K vans where the window, I don't know why it's so difficult, but let's see. Yes, it fully goes down. Let's see. Fully down, which is kind of rare for a K van to have that spec'd out to be that way. So that's nice. Same thing with this side. If we were to close this, if we were to bring this down, I guess these need to be used a lot more, and maybe some white lithium grease on the side of them because they are pretty tough right now. And I don't want to break them, so I'm just gonna put them back up. But going up, maybe that loosened it up a little. I don't know, but yes, they do go up and down, which is the most important part. So they do go up and down, they function. The rear doors are pretty big. This one did happen to come with a roller coaster bar, and it does have the things to put them on and off on both sides, and I'll show that to you in a minute. It does still have the original ashtray for the rear back here. Let's see, these are notorious to break, so the driver's one still is in functioning working shape, but this one you can tell is missing. Somebody would 3D print these, I think you could make a decent amount of money, because I feel like all the ones that I've had have had issues with it for some reason, one reason or another. Looks like the carpet was just moved. That's pretty normal for these. Let's see, it just kind of tucks back in there. And then, yeah, as far as the interior goes, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's show you the kilometer. For video purposes, the sun was not in my favor right now. But we have 89,377 kilometers, and that will still kind of keep going up as I drive it. There's an event that I'm going to take it to tomorrow. It does have the original Daihatsu radio, which is nice because it does have a space for a double din. Pretty easy to remove and add. It is missing the ashtray, and it looks like it wasn't maybe even optioned with the cigarette outlet. It actually might have been. Yeah, it looks like it has, but it looks like at some, oh, you know what? It just broke. They're kind of notoriously known to do that sometimes. They break. So I can probably splice that together, or you could splice that together, either one. But you could find a generic cigarette lighter or I'm sorry, 12-volt lighter thing that you can put in here. Ow, just poked myself with that. Or you change this to not even be a cigarette outlet for 12 volt. You can change this to be USBs and then forget about that. They always have this little tray that's where they kind of house the air conditioning, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what you would put under there, but you can. Obviously high and low selector for 4-wheel drive. Steering wheel's again shaped. Horns, which is really good, aka honks. This one does come with a grab handle on the driver's side, not on the passenger side, which is kind of interesting. Let's go to the very rear of it right now. We pop the very rear. Back is in pretty decent shape. Glass is in decent shape. I believe this is a factory tint that comes with them. You have all your panels. And something that's kind of cool about this, it doesn't come with 4 speakers, but a major but. Look what it does have. It has something here that resembles something to be plugged in for a speaker. So if you wanted to put another small speaker, you could take this, make a new one, and then make a new housing where you could actually put a speaker in here, which is huge. Most of the time they don't come with this. I've never really seen them with this, so it was probably pre-optioned to have the things that you may need, and so that's why it came with it, which is nice. Wood panel. Overall great shape on the headliner. There's maybe a scuff here, there, like a little poke over here and there, but overall good shape. Has the original jack. Not sure where that's supposed to be. I have to look into that, but it's probably supposed to be under one of the seats. Or maybe underneath the front seats, if I'm not mistaken. This is what they had on the driver's side. You can tell someone kind of got fancy with it and cut it, but I don't like to drive with these. It drives me nuts. Doesn't have a rear carpet, but it does have a rubber mat that someone added to it, which is a really nice addition to it, so that's nice. And then that roller coaster bar I was talking about that you can put in place. Back here does have a light, which doesn't seem to be currently functioning, which is fine, but there is this mat, which is really nice to have something. And then if you really want to get crafty with it, you can sound deaden it. You can get other like carpeting. I think I might have somewhere. My friend might have taken the one that I had in my garage, so if you wanted that, I could ask him for a roll of it if he hasn't already used it. But overall, pretty good shape. This is the only molding that's a little questionable, but again, over 25 years old, gets old and brittle. But what's cool about this K-Van, and K-Vans in general, which I'll show you right now. Let's see if I can wedge my phone here. Yep. So if I wedge my phone there, move my backpack out of the way. We take these, move them out of the way. What we can do now is effectively put these seats down. So take them, fold them flat. So if you have something you want to put it back here, great. If you have something that's even more flatter, you can flatten it completely. Come around to this side. Boom. And then look, you have a ton of space. For reference, I'll lay down here. I'm 6 feet tall. Let's move this roller coaster bar. Oh yeah. You could close that door and you could sit here. And I mean, if I pulled this seat forward like so, I could have a pillow back here and lay here, and I think I have room for more than enough room for a significant other to be here, which is really cool. Then you could essentially camp in this thing, which is really nice. And I think if you get really crafty with it, what you could really do is you could build up a platform that has drawers that houses all the things that you need, and in that platform then you can also get it to still function the way you need to with the seats up here. So seats back, platform to here to there. That's plenty for 2 big drawers to do a lot of different activities with. And you could have panels that come off and you can move things around. But the nice part about it too, most people don't realize, is that you can do this, what they call camp mode. So if you really don't want to put a bed in the back and you want to use the seats, how they function, you can simply come in here, put your feet back here or up here and lay down. And now you have effectively made a bed. It's not a very comfortable bed, to be honest with you. Your body's sitting more like this than like this, which is okay. But again, I think if you put a pillow here and you're thugging it out because you're driving to California with it or camping with it and you don't want to put a bed in it or don't have the budget for a bed, I think making a bed with the seats is a perfect alternative. And then the only thing is, obviously, you're going to have to figure out how to fix that part, whether it's 3D print a new one or whatever it may be. And to put it all back together, it's pretty simple, pretty easy. You just have to grab everything, Kind of put it all back together, and then Bob's your uncle. And just like that, you get the seat. We'll do the other side. Something that's really cool is there is power already going to this door, so if you wanted to add any power features to it, you could. Because of that, all you would have to do is run some wires to there, which is pretty nice in my opinion. The doors open and close nicely too, which is important. They shut and open. But yeah, so if you've been watching this video and you haven't had the desire to like call me and schedule a test drive, or call me and ask me questions that you may have about it, I think you're slacking, and I think you need to do that right away. My phone number is 203-940-1259. This is an awesome, solid van, to be 100% honest with you. The major drawback for this is a lot of people are just like, oh, I want this for my family. I think this, that, and the other. I want to put the kids in the back. And it's like, well, there are no seatbelts in the back. That doesn't mean that you can't add seatbelts to the back. You can. They may just be lap belts in the middle here. And that's still legal to drive around with kids in it. I mean, it's your discretion, to be honest with you. But that is still legal for you to do the things that you need to do with it. So if that's something that you hope for, there are no seatbelts on the back of these. Very rarely do you see them come with seatbelts. I think the one that I imported only had 3 doors. It didn't have a door on this side, and it did come with seatbelts, which is kind of a rarity. And then this park right now is getting pretty hot in the sense that there's a lot of people coming through. So I'm going to quickly try and end this video. Oh, one other thing, it is missing the passenger side visor. Again, something that's simple that can be found off of another parts van or something all around the US. But I'll show you the underside just to see if there's any rust or rot under there to make sure there's nothing crazy. Start with the back side. I'll get under there for you so you can kind of get an idea. But it looks like we have a little bit of surface rust, but nothing crazy. No holes that poke through or poke out or anything like that, which is important. Seen it, it's the first time that I'm seeing it as well, and that all can be taken care of depending on where you live. Wool wax and all that. There's a bunch of different things that you can do. Obviously you have your rear end here, your spare tire, which actually still has air, which is kind of surprising, and then your exhaust and all that. But normally where these are to rot out, and I've seen them rot out in some places, would be in between here, and it looks like it's good. It looks like it's not rotting out there, or between these right here, but it looks like we're okay. There's a little bit of surface rust here and there, nothing crazy. And if we come under here, there's a little pass through. I wonder what that's for. Anyway, come under here, there's a little bit of oil down here, but I don't know if that's from when they cleaned it up. I'll check my garage to make sure there's nothing crazy as far as like oil leaks or anything. But again, just surface rust. This is where the gas tank is. Come towards the front, it's not too bad. Yeah, come to the very, very front of the car, come under here, and it looks pretty clean. Nothing crazy, nothing too bad. Looks like at some point they did hit it with some Rust-Oleum, looks like, to make sure that it didn't rot out. Yeah, but overall in great shape. AC blows nice and cold, which is the most important part about these things as well. It'll freeze you out, believe it or not. We hop under here. This is the passenger side. Again, just surface rust. Nothing too crazy. Tiny little drive shaft. Tiny little drive shaft. Tiny transfer case. Look at the size of that transfer case, which is nuts. It's just probably a gear with a chain on it, and that's it. Yeah, overall, I think a great candidate for somebody who has a budget in mind that they want to stick to, and that, you know, this would fit their budget. Awesome van. I mean, you've seen me drive it, you've seen the inside, you've seen the outside, and yeah, we'll let you be the judge of what you think of it. Comment below, what do you think of this van? Would you buy a K van? Would you buy a Daihatsu, or would you want to buy some other brand? Let me know in the comments below. For now, you'll see this posted on Mendy Imports Instagram, at Mendy Imports. I'll probably post it on my website as well. I think there'll just have to be a credit card fee in case somebody wants to buy it with a credit card, but that's the only thing. It does have a clean US title ready to go. It's signed over. So whenever you want to pick it up, whenever you want me to deliver it, whether you want me or someone else, or if I have to get it on a transport, I can be accommodating to all fronts. And so, yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. My phone number is 203-940-1259. I'm pretty much by my phone all the time. And if you have questions, reach out. Again, this is not one that I imported. I helped import this one. Customer ultimately wanted to go a different route, and that's how I ended up with it for sale. So I don't give any warranties. I don't give anything of that matter. I tell people these vehicles are over 25 years old. Can they run forever? Sure. Can they blow up tomorrow? Sure. Can they blow up right now? Sure. I mean, I have a midget that is currently still at the shop just trying to get worked on, because that's what happened. I was driving it, and not driving it, I went to go turn it on in the garage and the timing belt snapped, and it could have been because it was on its way out. So many different variables, but I like to be honest with people. You don't buy this car because this is your daily driver or because you want to depend on these vehicles from Japan, even though I do. You buy these knowing that tomorrow you may need to do work with them, that there may be something that is different than all the other cars and out of the ordinary. So with that in mind, just keep that in mind when you're purchasing a vehicle from me, as far as an imports or any other person. Don't set the expectations that are unrealistic. Set the expectations that are realistic, so that, you know, when we meet them, it's much higher. Like, your expectation was here, but we meet them, and that's it. And I don't say this as like a disclaimer, because it just happened in the past where somebody had a vehicle for 3 months and then they hit me up the timing belt, or no, not even that they blew the head gasket, and then they were wanting me to be responsible for it. And it's like, no, it doesn't work that way. It's as is. Once you get it, that's it. You bought it the way that it is, and that's what this video is about. It's showing you the imperfections, whether it's going to work for you, whether it's not going to work for you, and whether you want it or not. And then if you do, great, and if you don't, no, you know, power to you for walking away. But yeah, I'm talking a lot. The van's for sale. If anybody's interested, hit me up. Like I said, can deliver it anywhere in the US for an additional cost, obviously. All right, one thing I will mention that is a major drawback. First of all, if you've never been to Rise Donuts here in Wilton, Connecticut, and if you're in Connecticut ever passing through, trust me, just go here. I mean, let me show you the creations that are here. This is a total plug for them, but yeah, they're the best donuts you'll have in Connecticut, in my opinion. I think best donuts for, yeah, I just like the simplicity of their donuts. But one major downside of this van is it does not come with cup holders, which when you have a drink, I know they have this, and I think I may know somebody that sells this. I call it the pill bottle, because it has 2 cup holders and it has like a little compartment so you can put pills in or whatever, because that's really all it's good for. But yeah, no cup holders. So yeah. Oh, and then another thing I forgot to show you. What was it? It was this trim over here is missing, and it was taped up. So the trim should look like this, and that's one of those trims that I say is just sometimes they lose it. Not a big deal though, it just doesn't look great. As I'm driving, I'm remembering certain things. Obviously, I was running out of gas cap's on the right side, but here is where you just pull this guy and it exposes your gas cap, and then you can fill it up from there. Always run 93 on these. It's just better for them. And if you're as curious as I am, we're gonna find out how big this gas tank really is, because when I tell you I was on E, I was on E to the point where it died. I was on a slight incline and it died from being sitting there. Here it is. If I was to speculate, this is a 7-gallon gas tank. Let's see. Yeah, 7 gallons for sure. Maybe 7.2, because I think we still had something in the tank. For now, that's it for the video. If I think of something else while I'm driving, which I'm sure I will, I'll put it in the video.